He was never meant to feel real. Chapter 1. The Contract That Ruined Her Life. Iris Vale did not believe in life-changing moments. She believed in overdue rent, bad coffee, and rejection emails that began with, "We regret to inform you." So when the email arrived, she assumed it was another polite no. Instead, it was an offer. A real one. From Thorn Publishing Group. She read it 3 times before her brain accepted the words. Finalist selection, potential contract, meeting requested. Her hands trembled as she shoved her laptop shut, then opened it again as if the message might vanish if she blinked too long. It didn't. For the first time in 2 years, something in her life tilted toward possibility. The cafe meeting was supposed to be casual. That was what the email said. Casual meant she wore her least wrinkled shirt and tried not to look like someone who had been living off instant noodles and hope. Casual also meant she arrived 20 minutes early and ordered the cheapest drink on the menu. The man who walked in was not casual. He didn't look around. He didn't hesitate. He simply entered, and the space seemed to rearrange itself around him. Dark suit, sharp lines, controlled movements. Dangerously composed. Iris didn't need an introduction to know who he was. Elias Thorne. She had seen his photo online, usually attached to words like visionary, ruthless, and untouchable. He spotted her immediately. Of course he did. Men like him didn't search, they identified. "You're early," he said as he reached her table. "You're intimidating," she replied before she could stop herself. A flicker of something, amusement maybe, crossed his face. "Good," he said, "it saves time." He sat down without asking. Iris straightened, trying to ignore the sudden awareness in her chest. This wasn't how she imagined it. There was supposed to be a team, a discussion, maybe encouragement. Instead, there was just him. And a folder. He slid it across the table. "Your manuscript has potential," he said. "That's a terrifying compliment." "It's an honest one." She hesitated before opening it. Contracts had always been something distant, abstract, something successful people dealt with. Now one sat in front of her. Real, heavy. Binding. "I should read this carefully," she said. "Yes. I will read this carefully." "You should." She nodded. Then she didn't. Because Elias Thorne was watching her. Because the moment felt fragile, like it might disappear if she paused too long. Because she had spent years waiting for something like this. So she skimmed. Signed. And slid it back. Elias glanced at the signature. Then at her. "Most people take longer," he said. "Most people don't wait 2 years for a yes." Another flicker of something in his eyes. Approval. Interest. Something she couldn't name. "Then welcome," he said, standing. To the beginning of something real. It wasn't until later that night that she saw it. Clause 17. She had been rereading the contract in bed, half proud, half suspicious of her own luck. That was when her eyes caught on the paragraph. She read it once. Then again. Then a third time, slower. For the purpose of achieving emotional authenticity, the author agrees to participate in a structured experiential environment, including cohabitation with a designated subject. Her stomach dropped. "No," she whispered. She kept reading. Subject to be determined by Thorn Publishing Group. "No." Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She stared at it for a long moment before answering. "Yes. You've read it." His voice. Calm, certain. "Elias." "What is Clause 17? She demanded. "A condition. That requires me to live with someone." "Yes." "That's insane." "I prefer intentional." "I didn't agree to this." "You signed the contract." "I didn't read it properly." A pause. Then, evenly. That doesn't make it less binding. Her pulse pounded. You can't be serious. I'm always serious. Silence stretched between them. Then he said, quieter now, you wanted to write something real. I can write without moving in with a stranger. You haven't yet. That hit harder than it should have. Her jaw tightened. Who is the subject? She asked. Another pause. This one deliberate. Then, I am. The room seemed to tilt. You, she said. Yes. That's not how publishing works. It is now. Her thoughts scrambled, trying to catch up. This is manipulation. This is opportunity. This is, she stopped, exhaling sharply, ridiculous. And yet, he said softly, you haven't said no. Because she couldn't. Because the contract was real. Because part of her, an inconvenient, reckless part, was curious. What happens if I refuse? She asked. You forfeit the deal. Of course she did. She closed her eyes. Hated him a little. Hated herself more. Fine, she said. Good. Don't sound pleased. I'm not, he replied. A beat. Then, almost too quietly. I'm interested. The call ended. And just like that, her life stopped being hers alone. Chapter 2, The Penthouse War Zone. Elias Thorne's home was exactly what she expected. Cold. Precise. Perfect. Everything was in place. Everything was controlled. Everything was unbearable. You don't own a single messy object, Iris said, setting her bag down. I own many, Elias replied. I simply don't display them. That sounds like a personality trait, not an interior design choice. He didn't respond, which only encouraged her. She walked further inside, taking it in. Floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist furniture, not a single thing out of alignment. This place doesn't look lived in, she said. It is. By a ghost. By someone who values order. She turned to him, arms crossed. I'm going to ruin that. I assumed you would try. Not if. Try. Her lips twitched. Challenge accepted. It started small. A mug left on the counter. A book on the sofa. Music playing just a little too loud. By the end of the first day, Elia's perfectly controlled environment had shifted. Not drastically, but enough. Enough to notice. Enough to irritate. You're doing this deliberately, he said that evening. She looked up from the kitchen. Yes. At least you're honest. At least I'm interesting. His gaze lingered on her. Too long. Debatable, he said. She smiled. Keep watching. Dinner was worse. Or better. Depending on perspective. I don't eat after 7, Elias said. It's 7:03. Then I'm not eating. She took a bite anyway. Your loss. Silence. Then. You're comfortable here, he observed. I adapt quickly. To everything. To things worth adapting to. His gaze sharpened. And this is. She met his eyes. A situation I haven't decided on yet. Something shifted. Subtle. Dangerous. Later that night, she stood by the window. The city stretched endlessly below. Alive, chaotic, real. Unlike everything behind her. You prefer noise, Elias said, stepping beside her. I prefer honesty. You think silence is dishonest. I think it hides things. He considered that. And what do you think I'm hiding? She turned to him. Close now. Closer than before. I think, she said softly, you're not as in control as you pretend to be. A pause. Then he stepped closer. Close enough that she could feel the shift in the air. You think chaos scares me? He asked. No, she whispered. I think it fascinates you. Their eyes locked. Neither moved. Neither looked away. And for a moment, the silence wasn't empty anymore. It was charged. Chapter 3, Rules of Engagement. They agreed on rules the next morning. Not because they wanted to. Because they had to. This doesn't work without structure, Elias said. This doesn't work at all, Iris replied. And yet here we are. She sighed. Fine, rules. He nodded. Rule 1, no real feelings. Obvious. Rule 2, no crossing boundaries. She hesitated. Then nodded. Fine. Rule 3, no interference in each other's personal lives. Perfect, she said. I don't want to know anything about you anyway. That makes 2 of us. They shook on it. A mistake. Because the moment their hands touched, something lingered. Neither acknowledged it. The first date was staged. Carefully curated. Public enough to be seen. Private enough to be observed. This is ridiculous, Iris muttered as they walked in. You agreed to it. I agreed to a contract, not a performance. This is part of the process. She rolled her eyes. You're insufferable. And yet, he said calmly, you're here. It was supposed to be simple. Dinner, conversation, observation. Instead, it became something else. Because Elias didn't perform. He watched. Analyzed. Learned. And when he spoke, it was precise. Too precise. You deflect with humor, he said at one point. You overanalyze everything. You avoid vulnerability. You avoid humanity. A pause. Then, interesting, he murmured. What is? You didn't deny it. She leaned forward slightly. Neither did you. The shift happened without warning. A small thing. A simple thing. Her hand brushed his. It should have meant nothing. Instead, it lingered. His fingers didn't move away. Neither did hers. The world narrowed. Just slightly. Just enough. Careful, she said softly. His gaze didn't leave hers. You started this. Her pulse quickened. Did I? Yes. A beat. Then quieter. And I don't finish things halfway. Something in her chest tightened. Not fear. Something worse. Interest. Chapter 4, The Almost Kiss. Rain started without warning. One moment the sky was clear, the next it was relentless, loud against the glass, heavy against the city. Iris stood near the window, arms folded, watching the storm roll in like it had something to prove. Behind her, the lights flickered once, then went out. The apartment fell into darkness. A beat. Then, backup power will activate in a moment, Elias said calmly. It didn't. Another flicker, then nothing. Silence. Well, Iris said, that's dramatic. I'll check the system. No, she said quickly. He paused. You don't want me to fix it. I want to enjoy it, she replied, already moving toward the kitchen. Stay. He didn't move. Didn't argue. He simply watched as she lit a candle, then another. Soft light filled the space, turning sharp edges into something warmer, less controlled. Less him. More something else. You're smiling, he said. I like this version of your apartment better. It's temporary. So is everything. That made him pause. They sat across from each other, the table lit only by candlelight. The storm outside made the world feel distant. Contained. You think I planned this, he said suddenly. You plan everything. I don't control the weather. She tilted her head slightly. Feels like you do. His gaze held hers. Too steady. Too intent. Not everything is within my control. No, she said softly, just people. A flicker of something crossed his face. Gone too quickly to name. The conversation slowed. Then stopped. Not awkward. Just suspended. Like something was waiting. Iris leaned back slightly, studying him. You're different like this. In the dark. In the quiet. He didn't respond. So she leaned forward. Closer. You're less guarded. That would be a mistake. Or maybe it's honest. Silence again. Thicker this time. He stood. She didn't move. He walked toward her. Slow. Measured. Intentional. Do you always push? He asked. Do you always resist? Now he was close. Too close. The candle light caught in his eyes, softening something that had always seemed untouchable. You don't know what you're asking for, he said quietly. Then show me. It wasn't supposed to sound like that. But it did. And neither of them took it back. His hand lifted. Paused. Then gently brushed a strand of hair away from her face. Her breath caught. Just slightly. That was enough. He leaned in. She didn't pull away. Their faces inches apart now. Close enough to feel the heat between them. Close enough to forget the rules. For a moment, nothing else existed. Then, he stopped. Pulled back. Just enough. I don't do almost, he said, voice low. Her heart didn't get the message. Because it was still racing. Then don't, she whispered. But he already had. And somehow, that felt worse. Chapter 5, Jealousy Looks Good on Him. The event was everything Iris hated. Bright lights, polished conversations, people pretending to be more important than they were. I should be writing, she muttered. You are, Elias replied beside her. This is not writing. This is research. She gave him a look. You're enjoying this. I'm observing. Same thing for you. Not even close. He was in his element. Controlled, respected, untouchable. People approached him with careful smiles and calculated words. He gave them just enough in return. Nothing more. Iris watched and realized something uncomfortable. He wasn't cold. He was selective. She stepped away eventually. Needed air, space. Something real. That was when someone else approached her. You look like you don't belong here either. She turned. A man, easy smile, relaxed posture. Safe. I don't, she said. Good, he replied. That makes two of us. They talked. It was simple. Effortless. And for a moment, she forgot. Elias didn't. He saw the way the man leaned in. The way Iris laughed. The way her shoulders relaxed. Something tightened in his chest. Sharp. Unexpected. Unwelcome. He moved before he thought about it. Iris. Her name, low and controlled. But not calm. She turned. Surprised. The man beside her glanced between them. I didn't realize you were here with someone, he said. I am, Elias replied before she could speak. A pause. Then the man nodded. Of course. He left. Just like that. Iris turned back to Elias. What was that? He was wasting your time. I was enjoying myself. Were you? Her eyes narrowed. Yes. A beat. Then, why does that bother you? It doesn't. Liar. Silence. Then he stepped closer. Not aggressive. Not gentle. Just certain. You're part of this arrangement, he said. I'm not your possession. I didn't say you were. You didn't have to. Her pulse picked up. Not from fear. From something else. Something dangerous. His hand closed around her wrist. Firm. Not enough to hurt. Enough to stop her. Her breath hitched. Just slightly. "You're enjoying this," he said. "You said no feelings," she shot back. "Then explain why I don't like him looking at you." There it was. Not controlled. Not calculated. Real. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was heavy. Full. "I can talk to whoever I want," she said softly. "Yes. But you don't like it." "No." Her heartbeat was loud now. Too loud. "Then that's your problem." "Is it?" A step closer. Now there was barely any space between them. Or is it? Her breath caught. Again. And this time. She didn't know why. Chapter 6, The Night That Changes Everything. It started with one drink. Then another. Then something shifted. Not the room. Not the music. Them. "You're different tonight," Iris said. "You've said that before." "I mean it differently this time." He studied her. "And what does it mean this time?" "It means you're not pretending." "And you are." "Always." A pause. Then. "Not right now." They laughed. Too easily. Talked. Too honestly. And somewhere between the second drink and the third, the distance between them disappeared. "I didn't expect you," she said suddenly. "Most people don't. I mean like this." He didn't answer. So she leaned closer. "You're not what I thought you were." "And what did you think?" "Controlled, calculated, untouchable." And now? Her gaze didn't waver. Still dangerous. Something in his expression shifted. Lowered. Less guarded. The moment stretched. Quiet. Heavy. Unavoidable. "What if this wasn't fake?" she said softly. The words landed between them. Irreversible. He stilled. Completely. For the first time. Elias Thorne didn't have an immediate answer. "You don't mean that," he said. "I don't say things I do mean. This isn't part of the arrangement. Neither is this." She gestured between them. The air. The tension. The pull. He leaned in. Slow. Deliberate. Giving her time to stop him. She didn't. Not this time. Not like before. The kiss wasn't rushed. It wasn't uncertain. It was inevitable. Slow at first. Testing. Then deeper. Warmer. Real. Her hand found his shirt. His hand settled at her waist. And just like that, everything they said they wouldn't do. They did. When they pulled apart, the silence returned. But it wasn't the same. It wasn't empty. It was changed. So were they. "You broke the rules," he said quietly. "So did you." A pause. Then. "This complicates things." "Yes," she said. "It does." But neither of them stepped back. And neither of them pretended anymore. That this was still just a contract. Chapter 7, The Morning After Lies. Morning came too quietly. No storm, no darkness, no excuse. Just light. Clear, unforgiving, real. Iris woke first. For a moment, she didn't move. Didn't think. Then memory settled in. The kiss. The way his hand had held her. The way she hadn't pulled away. Her chest tightened. Not regret. Not exactly. Something more complicated. She sat up slowly. Elias was already awake. Of course he was. He stood near the window, back to her, posture composed like nothing had happened. Like everything hadn't changed. "Good morning," he said. Too normal. She hated that. Morning. A pause. Then, that shouldn't have happened. There it was. Clean, controlled, distant. She swallowed. No, she said. It shouldn't have. Silence stretched between them. Heavy, sharp. We agreed on rules, he continued. Yes. And we broke them. Yes. Another pause. Then he turned slightly, just enough for her to see his profile. Then we don't do it again. The words landed harder than she expected. Obviously, she said. Too quickly. Too lightly. A lie. They both heard it. Neither called it out. The day continued like nothing had shifted. He worked. She wrote. They spoke only when necessary. Careful, precise. Distant. But distance didn't erase memory. It sharpened it. Later, as she passed behind him, something small happened. Unintentional. Natural. He reached out and tucked a loose strand of her hair behind her ear. Gentle. Absent-minded. Intimate. They both froze. Because that wasn't part of the act. That wasn't strategy. That was habit. And habits meant something. His hand dropped immediately. Expression neutral again. Control restored. Sorry, he said. It's fine, she replied. But it was. Because now they both knew. The problem wasn't the kiss. It was everything after. Chapter 8, The Secret He Did Tell. It wasn't intentional. She wasn't looking for anything. She just needed a notebook. That was all. Instead, she found the file. Her name on it. Iris Vale. Her stomach tightened. She opened it. She shouldn't have. But she did. Notes. Detailed. Careful. Observations. Writing style, emotional patterns, behavioral tendencies. Dates. Times. Moments. Moments she didn't even remember clearly. But he did. Her chest felt tight as she flipped through the pages. This wasn't business. This wasn't professional. This was personal. Too personal. You weren't supposed to see that. His voice. Behind her. Calm. But not unaffected. She turned slowly. How long? She asked. A pause. Before the contract. Yes. Another pause. Then. A while. The answer wasn't enough. You chose me. It wasn't a question. Yes. Her throat tightened. Why? You were the right fit. That's not what I asked. Silence. For once. He didn't have a clean answer. I noticed you, he said finally. Through your writing. At first. And then. His gaze held hers. Steady. Honest. After that, it wasn't just the writing. Her heart stuttered. Just slightly. You built this entire situation, she said. Yes. You planned it. Yes. You made sure I would end up here. A pause. Then. Yes. The honesty hit harder than any lie. She laughed. Soft. Disbelieving. That's not romantic, she said. It wasn't meant to be. Then what was it? He stepped closer. Not invading. Not retreating. Just present. It was the only way I knew how. Something in her chest shifted. Dangerous. Complicated. Too real. I don't know what's real anymore, she admitted. His expression changed. Subtle. But there. You think this isn't real. I think it started as something controlled. And now. She didn't answer. Because she didn't know. And that scared her more than anything. Chapter 9, Breaking Point. It didn't explode all at once. It built. Quietly. Sharp words, avoided glances, unfinished conversations. Until it couldn't hold anymore. You manipulated me. Her voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It cut anyway. You signed the contract. You made sure I would. I gave you an opportunity. You engineered a situation. Yes. The word hit like impact. No denial. No defense. Just truth. Her hands clenched. I trusted this, she said. You trusted the result. I trusted you. That landed. Harder than anything else. For the first time. He didn't respond immediately. I didn't lie, he said finally. You didn't tell the truth either. A pause. Sharp breathing. Alive. I don't know what any of this is anymore, she continued. Her voice cracked. Just slightly. That was enough. Is it real? She asked. Or is it just another controlled outcome? He stepped closer. Then stopped himself. That was new. That hesitation. That restraint. That's the problem, he said quietly. What? His gaze didn't waver. Everything is. Silence. Heavy. Unavoidable. She shook her head. Stepped back. I can't do this. You already are. No, she said. I'm done. The words felt final. Like something breaking. Or ending. Or both. He didn't stop her. That was the worst part. Chapter 10, the choice that wasn't in the contract. The apartment felt different without him. Or maybe, without what they had become. Iris stood alone, the city stretching endlessly beyond the glass. Same view. Different meaning. The contract was over. Finished. Complete. She was free. That was what she wanted. Wasn't it? Days passed. Quiet. Productive. Empty. She wrote. She finished the book. Every word sharper. Every emotion clearer. Because now, she understood. But understanding didn't fix anything. It didn't quiet the silence. It didn't replace what had been there. The knock came unexpectedly. Soft. Certain. Her breath caught before she even reached the door. Because she knew. Elia stood there. No suit. No structure. No distance. Just him. You're not supposed to be here, she said. The contract is over. Yes. Then why are you here? A pause. Longer than usual. Less controlled. More real. I don't want control. The words were quiet. But they carried. She stared at him. Because this wasn't the man she met. This wasn't the man who planned everything. This was someone else. Or maybe, who he had always been underneath it all. For the first time, he continued, I don't have a strategy. That sounds risky. It is. Silence settled between them. Not empty. Not tense. Just honest. Then why take the risk, she asked. He stepped closer. Not calculated. Not measured. Just real. Because this isn't something I can control. A breath. Then, I just want you. No conditions. No contracts. No guarantees. Her heart didn't race this time. It steadied. Because for once, there was nothing uncertain about what she felt. She stepped forward, closing the distance. Choice. Not obligation. Good, she said softly. His gaze held hers. Unmoving. Waiting. Because I was never part of the deal. And this time, when he kissed her, there were no rules left to break. Only something real to begin. The end. This was brought to you by Romance Hobbit. If this story moved you, subscribe. A new video is already waiting for you.